even though there's only been 2 weeks of build, the Elimination Chamber this Sunday looks like it's going to be a pretty good card. Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason, aka J-Bone, the Rambling About Wrestling podcast, right here to bring you my preview and predictions for this Sunday's Elimination Chamber. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches and a pre-show. So far, no pre-show matches, but I wouldn't be surprised if they throw something in there. There's always something they could throw in last minute, and they have been lately, which is kind of nice. So let's start. It's going to be Daniel Bryan on the Miz show, on the pre-show for the Elimination Chamber. But according to WWE.com, this is actually looking like it's going to be kind of interesting. Because this is the first time that this is going to be on TV since beating Damian Sandow for the Miz, the rights to use the Miz brand. This is also going to be their two former WWE World Heavyweight Champions. Daniel Bryan's going to be on Tough Enough soon, coming up in June. Is it July? June? Whatever it is. June, I think. So, in a month. Miz was Daniel Bryan's coach on, I was going to say Tough Enough. No, it wasn't Tough Enough. It was kind of like Tough Enough, but it was back when NXT, before it was an actual brand. It's going to be, they're going to have some, stuff to talk about. I'm sure Miz is going to be his usual snarky self and, piss off Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan will get the crowd riled up. So don't be surprised if you end up seeing Damian Sandow and Axelmania come down. Don't be surprised if you don't see the Mega Powers come down and give the Miz 1-4. I'm sure there'll be some comedy. Might be a few fists thrown, maybe. Can only hope. Daniel Bryan also has a book coming out next week, I think. Or is it a DVD? It's one of the two. I forget. Anyways, could be talking about that too. All right. So on to the main card. Start from what I think is going to be the bottom and go to the top. Neville versus Bo Dallas. I read someone online saying something to the effect that this could be the match of the night. Well, these two certainly did tear it up in NXT for the NXT Championship about a year ago. A little over a year ago, I think. These two could certainly have a good match. I don't see Bo Dallas winning here. I think we're going to have Neville win. But yeah, should be a good match. I wouldn't be surprised if it kicks off the whole thing. That'd be cool. Divas title match. 3-way between Paige, Naomi, and the Divas champ, Nikki Bella. I would not be surprised. If Naomi, with the help somehow, some way, with the help of Tamina, ends up getting the championship from Nikki. I think it's time they pull the trigger. When they were thinking about doing it about a year ago, I don't think Naomi was ready. I think it would have been stale. But now that she's a pretty good heel character, not the best, but she's pretty good, and certainly with Tamina by her side as backup, I think that could really work. So I'm actually going to predict, as much as I love Paige, I'm going to predict that Naomi takes the championship, and you'll have a new Divas champ. Champion versus champion. John Cena versus Kevin Owens. Going to be a lot of eyes on this match. This is going to be Kevin Owens' WWE pay-per-view. Well, not really pay-per-view because it's on the network exclusively. This is going to be his, what do you say? It's going to be his first pay-per-view. And that's pretty awesome. The fact that his first one is going to be up against Cena. And I've mentioned this in other videos. Kevin Owens, Steen, whatever, he's talked about this. One of the last times before he actually entered the company under the NXT umbrella, they were up in Canada. Yeah, WWE was up in Canada, and he took his son to a wrestling event. And his son said, "Daddy, why aren't you wrestling John Cena?" He told his son, "Someday." Well, that day is here, and I can't wait. I'm pretty excited for this. I know a lot of people are gonna cry and scream and say, "Oh, John Cena's gonna bury Kevin Owens." As much as I want Kevin Owens to win here, I do not think he's going to win here. Actually, I read something earlier, and I didn't agree with it, but you know what? I'm going to go along with what I read. It's a bit far-fetched, but I sincerely think this will happen. Okay? Bear with me here. What happened on NXT? Samoa Joe showed up. What's the newest, biggest rivalry besides John Cena and Kevin Owens? Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens. Think Samoa Joe will show up at the Elimination Chamber and cost Kevin Owens the match? Meaning Kevin Owens wins by DQ? By DQ. Samoa Joe. And yes, I'm picking these as I'm doing the video. I wrote them all down, and I didn't pick anyone. So, in a sense, yeah, I'm doing this live. So yeah, Kevin Owens is going to win, but he's going to not win clean. He's going to win by DQ because Samoa Joe's going to come down. That's what I'm predicting. It's a little bold, but hey, there's a lot of bold things going on in the WWE right now. Tag team. This is the one of two Elimination Chamber matches. The tag team titles are on the line. The champs, the New Day versus Kid and Cesaro, primetime players. the Ascension, Los Matadores, and the Lucha Dragons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 6 teams. Some of these teams I'm not excited about being in there, but they got to put them in there. Say last minute, if say Damian Sandow and Axelmania, whatever, say they don't show up on the pre-show, I could see something happening, somebody taking out one of the other teams in the Elimination Chamber, say Los Matadores, okay? And enter Macho Mandow and Axelmania into the chamber. That's a guess. That's not my prediction. I'm just saying that's if something weird happens, that could be what happens. But I think for a first, I think this will be pretty good. It's something new and different that they're doing with the chamber, so I give them a lot of credit for that. Also with the Intercontinental Championship, I give them a lot of credit for that. Like I said, this is 2 weeks out. Boom, it dropped the bomb and said, "This is what we're doing with the championship." And hey, I think it's pretty good. Man, as chaotic as this is, I don't see the tag champs losing the belts here. I think they'll lose it more in a one-on-one deal. But it's going to be fun. I sincerely think it's going to be fun. Going to see a lot of banged up tag teams. But yeah, New Day is going to remain champs. They're going to retain their championships. Hey, you might even see all 3 guys in the cell. Woods, Kofi, and Big E. Who knows? All right, Intercontinental Championship is held by Vacant. Once again, R-Truth versus Sheamus versus King Barrett versus Ryback versus Ziggler versus Rusev. But now news came out late last night, early this morning, that Rusev is injured, but we don't know any other details. Somebody said they saw him in a wheelchair with I don't know, cast on, not a cast, but brace. So if Rusev, let's just throw this out there. Say Rusev is banged up and he can't perform, and someone else gets to have a shot at the Intercontinental title. Let's quick look at the roster and see who maybe could go in there for an extra. Let's see, Adam Rose, maybe. Let's see, Bo Dallas is on the pre-show. Oh my. Maybe the return of Big Show, Bray Wyatt. Oh man, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt hasn't had any championships yet. No, not the bunny. As much as I'd love to see Chris Jericho in that match, I heard he's not going to do anything as far as TV or pay-per-views. Of course, that could always change. Christian's gone. I don't think he'd do anything. Excuse me. I'm not seeing anybody else that I think they could throw in there. Eric Rowan, Fandango. Slater, no. Hornswoggle, no. Jack Swagger, I think he's injured. I'm not sure. Jerry Lawler, no. Man, not really seeing. Oh, Luke Harper. Wasn't he Intercontinental Champion for like a cup of coffee? I think he was. Miz is back. Maybe they'll throw Miz in. Oh, would that be a heel thing to do? Come back and shove it in Daniel Bryan's face that he's entering himself in the match? Oh, let's see. Mark Henry. Hey, how about Neville? I'd love to see Neville in there. Randy Orton, maybe. Roman Reigns. Maybe Stardust. Running out of guys here. Triple H, no. Zack Ryder, oh boy. Yeah, it's a possibility. I don't know. So there are plenty of possibilities if Rusev cannot perform in that match. Who do I think is going to win? Oh, man. That's a tough one. Because I could see, well, not against R-Truth, but honestly, I could pretty much see any of these guys winning besides R-Truth. I honestly don't know why R-Truth is in there. I think he's just in there for a little bit of comedy, maybe. I don't know. He's a good, he's a good flyer, but I don't know. He does the same spins through the air all the time, so I don't know. Gotta pick one. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with Ryback. That's another guy who hasn't had any titles yet. I don't think. Ryback. So yeah, we'll go with Ryback. What the hell? All right. Last but certainly not least, Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. A lot of people are saying that Seth's going to win here. But man, they're really building up Dean Ambrose really well, And like I did a video recently talking about, the whole nostalgia thing on how they're doing, the corporation or the authority versus the stone cold guy, which would be Dean Ambrose. Man, that'd be awesome. Oh, another great thing about this, this is a little, actually a big, continuation from last fall when these two headlined Hell in a Cell. And that was a damn good match. Screwy ending, thanks to Bray Wyatt, but a good match and a great rivalry. I love this rivalry between the two. The corporate champ versus the anti-hero. Tell me that doesn't reek of Stone Cold versus The Rock. Tell me it doesn't. It totally does, doesn't it? Which why I say they're gonna put the championship on Dean. But as much as I want to see it happen, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna save something big for Dean, like Money in the Bank, which is in another 2 weeks after this pay-per-view. I'll tell you what I'd love to see. I'd love to see the Chamber come down during this match and them duke it out. You thought Hell in a Cell was good? What if the Chamber came down during this match and they got trapped inside and duked it out in the Chamber? Oh my God. Would that be incredible or what? Hey, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll be a last minute thing and they'll throw some other guys in there like Roman Reigns, Randy Orton. Hey, maybe Bray Wyatt. Who knows? Kane. And Kane would just be in there as an enforcer to help protect Seth. Or maybe Triple H would interfere somehow. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could happen. You know, I like to guess those things, but do I think those will happen? I don't know. So yeah, I hope the chamber does come down. I hope they do duke it out in the chamber. I think that's the only way it should go down. You know, I don't care if they add more people, but if you're gonna have the elimination chamber show, then let's do it right. Make the championship in the chamber. It's how it's always been, you know. Um, but nonetheless, whatever they decide to do in the chamber or out, Seth's gonna win. And I think Dean will have his day. I sincerely think so. They wouldn't be doing this with him if they weren't, you know, testing the waters. You know, Dean will be champ someday. We just Dean Ambrose fans just gotta wait patiently. I'm guessing within the next year or so, hopefully. So, um, so yeah, that's my predictions. Oh, and something I just thought of. Um, as far as tag teams, if any of the tag teams get taken out and another one gets thrown in there, um, I'd like to see Eric Rowan and Luke Harper get thrown in there. Honestly, that would be badass. That'd be great. Um, so if that team gets thrown in, I'm going to say they win. But if they do not get thrown in, I'm going to say New Day keeps it. Okay, so that's my prediction. So yeah, that's it, top to bottom. I think it's going to be a great show. I think there's going to be a few surprises because the WWE is all about making some surprises lately. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.